Welcome back to Just You and Me. I'm Donna.
And I am Adam. How's it going?
Another week. How are
I
you
know.
doing this week, Adam?
I'm good. I'm good. Lots of stuff going on. Kids are crazy. But I'm
Are
good.
you melting in the heat?
Yeah, it's horrifying. Like, what is this? Why does it like go in LA? Why is it so nice in July and August, and then all of a sudden it gets horrible in September?
You know, we had such a lovely summer, so I have nothing to complain about. I don't know why you're always complaining.
Well, first of all, I'm Jewish, so Ashkenazi Jewish. I'm allowed to complain. This is what we do. We
What a
complain.
horrible thing to connect to being Jewish.
It's so funny, actually. Let's start off talking about that because we talked last week about that show on Netflix called Long Story Short.
Mm-hmm.
So I binged the whole thing. It's about 10
Okay.
episodes, and it's about 25 to 30 minutes an episode. And there's one character on there that complains all the time.
And
And
his name is Adam Newman.
no, his name is not Adam. His name's Avi, not Avi Levy, but his name's Avi.
Why are you throwing out random names from our history on the show? Like, do they want their full name on the show all the time?
I don't know, dude. Listen, it's just one. We say full names every so often. Uh, anyway, he complains a lot. He's not happy about being a Jew. I'm happy about being a Jew, but he is also just complains a lot. And it's pretty funny. I just
In
see
the
that.
show.
Yes, in the show.
Which one is Avi? What character?
I think it's Max.
Max Greenfield.
Yes.
Yeah, he plays the younger brother.
So there's maybe it's not Max. Maybe I don't remember exactly what it is. So there's three siblings. One is introduced at the beginning, who's getting his bar mitzvah, and then there's a middle one, and there's a middle girl who is a lesbian, and then there is then the older one who's this guy Avi, and it is.
No, I think that's Ben Feldman's voice.
Oh, is it Ben? Okay. There's
Yeah.
so many Jews in this. So many great Jews that voice during this whole thing. It's great. Anyway, it is such a funny show, and the thing I like about it is that it really is representing every type of Jew that any Jewish person has come across. Whether it's someone who's Orthodox, whether it's somebody who talks about the Holocaust nonstop because they're always having a pity party, or if it's somebody who's very, very liberal, like very, very liberal. And then, of course, they have the one stereotypical Ashkenazi Jew who complains about everything. So I took a lot of, I felt like I connected well with that character.
And the first episode, which I did watch, he's bringing the character Avi is bringing home his non-Jewish girlfriend home to his family for his younger brother's bar mitzvah. But he's like an adult; he's in his 20s, I imagine, and he is, the series. I think from the episode I saw and the two episodes I saw, 1.5. It kind of takes you from like a flashback to current day, basically. So you see like how they grew up to now. It's a cartoon, but we've all. I mean, if you're Jewish, a lot of us have been the Jew that has taken the non-Jew home, and introduced your non-Jew boyfriend or girlfriend to your Jewish parents. I married my non-Jew boyfriend, so I experienced that.
What I thought was great about that, though, through the series was that they don't make it seem like a shameful thing or a bad thing at all. Is that your dog barking in the background?
Yeah, my puppy is barking. My puppy is in here because my puppy's been alone all day because I've been working all day, and I brought her in here, but she's barking at toys. I told you this, right? That she's barking at toys. She's going through the stage. So she's barking at things that she doesn't understand what they are, but they're just things. And I'm just letting her get through this stage.
Dogs are so weird.
But she's so cute.
She is quite adorable. She's very adorable.
She'll tire herself out in a few months.
Good, because I can't compete with your dog. Just the amount of cuteness.
Why? She's complaining just like you.
Yes, that is true. She is.
That's what you sound like when you complain. Can I tell everyone the story of what Oliver said in the car?
Yeah, one second.
Let's finish. Yeah.
Real quick. I think what's cool about this series and about how they treat someone marrying a non-Jew, they don't really bring it up so much. It's more of like just her who's the non-Jewish woman, experiencing Jewish culture for the first time and how
Mhm.
wacky it could be. But they don't make like a big deal about how,
They
how
don't even.
odd it is, which is great. It's not odd, obviously, but they don't sit there and like harp on it. Um, but I thought it was very cool. And then the other character that I thought was very interesting is they had a black Jewish woman, which you would think is like, woke. They needed to have some kind of, representation in there. But the way they treat it and how she becomes Jewish is extremely interesting. And which you haven't gotten to that episode yet, but it's pretty awesome. And
Okay.
I think they do a very good job in treating all the different Jewish personalities.
Okay. I'll be interested. I definitely, yeah, it's definitely nice to see Jews being portrayed on TV and in the media in a non polarizing way and in a non like controversial way. It's a very old school, like comedic. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it funny. Let's keep it not, you know, anger producing. Like there's no one that can watch that and be like, I can't believe you did that.
Right. There's no real conversation about Israel. They don't bring that into it, which is I think a good choice
For
because
sure.
with all this crap and anti-Semitism in the world now, it's good to see just American Jews be American Jews and just
And
be
I
the
think a lot of it is that it doesn't take place in current day necessarily. A lot
right.
of it, most of it takes place in the in 90s, 80s. Like it's very it travels time, so it's not like 2025 so
Yeah.
that they have to talk about what's happening.
I think the most current they get is like
22.
22 I think is the
They
most.
probably do that on purpose.
Probably, and I think it's again another smart choice because they just want to show how we
Well, they
are.
don't want to avoid it probably completely.
Yes. Of course. I get it.
Um yeah, it's funny. Of course, I was watching the first episode and it's about a bar mitzvah, and I'm like, damn, like I can't escape my bar mitzvah stress. Yesterday, I did a walkthrough for Dylan's bar mitzvah in the location. It was my second time going to the location since we like first saw it to book it,
Right.
and now that we're 2 months out, a little over 2 months, um, it's like getting real in the sense of all the things you have to do pay for. I mean, really it's the money that is so stressful. The actual things to do is not as stressful. It's the money that we're going to have to pay. And honestly, I'm handling it all, and it is so overwhelming. It's crazy how much, and it's so fast how fast like you'll just say, okay, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, because once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
And once the invites go out, you're like, I can't say no now. So like you can't throw a half-ass party once
Yep.
you invite people. And I'm not going to try to even touch some of these crazy parties that I know Dylan has gone to already and I know I've gone to that are so ridiculous. Like I keep seeing pictures online of these, now I'm in the age where my peers are having all their mitzvahs for their kids. And a lot of my friends are like Real Housewives style friends, and their mitzvahs, which I'm not friends with them, so I'm not invited, thank God, are psycho, like 4 seasons, all in, right? This will not be that party.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yesterday Dylan goes, so are we going to have a sushi station? And I
Sushi.
was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't think we're going to have a sushi station. And he was like, what?
Really?
Every bar mitzvah has a sushi station. And I was like, ours will probably not. And he's like, what? But that's what makes it fun. I said, if the parties that you go to are fun because of the sushi, then they're just not fun parties.
Right.
Because that's not what makes a party fun. The parties are fun because of the music, because of the games, because of like whatever. I mean, I don't even know what makes a party fun. I was like, for us, it's because of the alcohol and the music. Let's be real. Like, I don't know what else. The sushi's not making the party fun for me.
Did you go to a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs when you were a kid, like that age?
I remember going to like a solid amount, but I wasn't at a Jewish school. So like I didn't go to one every weekend, but I went to probably about 10 to 15 probably in my lifetime as a kid.
I think for me, it was pretty much every weekend. Like, even though I didn't go to Jewish school, I had all my Hebrew school friends.
Yeah,
And
you went to Hebrew school.
Yeah, I had Hebrew school friends. I had my Jewish sleepaway camp friends, and then a lot of people that I went to middle school with were Jewish. So
Yeah.
I had a ton. None of them had sushi stations, but I guess sushi
Well, things
wasn't.
were different in the 90s.
I know, but I think when in terms of like having fun when you're that age, it's literally the music, being with all your friends, dancing, and just playing those games. That's all it is. It's
The
fun.
problem is now, and I was talking to the planners, like the woman that's in charge of the location and the woman that's helping me plan. She said they're all going to be on their phones anyway. That's what these kids do.
That
I
sucks.
know. It sucks. I wish I could take all their phones.
Yeah, the way to check in your phone as they walked in. That would
You
be
just can't. It's like not a, for safety. You can't do that. But
no.
like, I wish there was a way that you could take all the kids' phones for an hour or 2 hours and just force them to just be present. Oh, here's another thing.
Hmm.
You have to hire security. Have to.
Well, okay. First of all, where are you? Not where are you having it, but are you having it at a synagogue and somewhere else,
No,
or what is your?
no. We're doing the service at the location of the party.
Okay.
But the party location forces, and this is most places, forces security.
Is it forces security just for a Jewish event, or
No, no,
is
it's
any
not even about the fact that it's Jewish. It's because of the
interesting?
kids.
Oh God,
Because
really?
the kids are so bad.
Oh, fuck. That's
Yeah, she said that kids are so, I mean, this is at a place that is like, inhabited by mostly adults normally.
right.
So this is not, I'm not having it at like a Chuck E. Cheese, obviously. So she said that kids at this age are so bad, like especially the boys in seventh grade are
Yeah.
so bad. And like my son is kind of, he can be bad to me, but he's not a jerk to other people. Like I
Right.
know authority, like at school, he's not the kid that's getting in trouble. He's not the kid that's mean to other parents.
Right.
So I thank God at this point, knock on wood, he's not that kid, but like there are those groups of boys. And I wonder about my second. I don't know if he's going to be in that group, but there are those groups. And some of the girls are a little bit like this too. They're
I
the
get it.
troublemakers. They're the ones that are pushing the boundaries, trying to sneak drinks or something. I don't know. Maybe not seventh grade, but like when they're a little older, there'll be the kids that are trying to sneak drinks at parties. And they're the ones that are trying to like escape and go into places they're not supposed to be because it's not like in a one room place. It's like kind of, it has multiple different spaces that you're not allowed to be in this room, in this location. Anyway, the point is you have to hire security. And it was like, we can't do the party unless you hire security. Didn't realize I was going to have to pay a couple $1,000 for security. I don't remember having kids that were bad in bar mitzvah season.
No, I didn't either. Like none of them brought drinks. It was like literally just, what is going on? Why does why do the kids these days suck compared to us? We were wonderful.
And so I asked, I was like, why, what do you think it is? So I don't know. She also said, do you hear that in the background, by the way? Okay. You'll have to see what's happening.
Oh, okay.
She
There.
found some wallpaper and she's playing with wallpaper. But look how cute she is.
I know she's very cute. What's her name again?
Wrigley, like Wrigley Field.
Yes, because
So Wrigley needs to find a quieter toy. So she said that we also go to a Jewish school, and she said that kids at my school tend to be a little bit worse, Jewish school kids, because they go to so many that it's not exciting to them, and it's just like another party.
so they need to make more fun by doing something ridiculous.
Well, they just go to so many that it's not like a novel concept. Maybe where I went to school, it was like, wow, we're going to a bar mitzvah or bar mitzvah, like it was a night out.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous. I can't believe you have to go through all this. I'm not looking forward to it. The fact
You're
that
there soon.
I know the fact that like next year I'm going to have to start picking out a date, or this year, I don't even know. At a certain point, we have to pick out a date.
Well, the girl that you said you ran into right before the show, she has kids that are, I think, your kid's age, like fourth grade or whatever. And she said that she already picked a date.
Yep, that's what I heard as well.
Because she's at a big temple that is like popular.
So now we got to start figuring that out, which is, it's just crazy to me that we're already at this age. She turns 10 next month. And I still have to think about 13.
It just felt so far away for
Yeah,
so long, and then all of a sudden you're there. And I just remember thinking of like that year of the bar mitzvah feels like we're gonna have like we're gonna be so far into parenting, and like I still feel like we're so new into parenting, and I'm here, you know. But I will be very excited when it's over. I will tell you that, and then before I know it, I'm gonna have my second.
I know. We're both dealing with it. I'm going to have it the same kind of timeline. I have my
And,
first and second.
and I know that like my second is the one that's gonna want to have a huge party too. Like I thought for sure one of them was gonna just want to travel, but they both want parties.
Bellamy is already like planning. She already knows what she wants. And she's like, we're trying to temper her expectations. And she's like, well, then I'll just talk to grandma and grandpa about throwing a party for me. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, we'll try to get them to pay for it too.
Well, listen, that's the idea. I got to go to grandma and grandpa. It's a Jewish tradition. We got to carry these traditions on. Grandma and grandpa, can you pay? Is what's going to be
Exactly.
kind of the line.
So, okay, so long story short, you loved it. Everyone watch it. It's a good
Yeah.
one. I don't even want to get into it, but we should talk about this stupid Joaquin Phoenix, the movie in at the Venice Film Festival. Have you
Yeah.
heard of it?
Yes. Yes. I want to go into it because I'm sure we both have thoughts.
Well, I'm just like annoyed that I don't know if it's my algorithm or what, but I'm like, why is this getting so much press?
I'm not getting that much, to be honest with you.
It's all over Variety, Hollywood Reporter, like, and not on their website. It's like their Instagram
Oh,
posts.
interesting. I guess I'm not on that algorithm because I don't see it as much as you do.
I'm like, we really need to see this. So it's a video on variety.com or Variety Instagram. I don't know if it was like a Instagram or a Threads post or whatever it popped up. And it's a video of their 23-minute long standing ovation. You know, the stupid standing ovations that all these movies get.
And the fact that they time how long the standing ovations are
Soon
is
they're going to be longer than the movie.
yeah,
So
23.
it's a 23-minute long standing ovation for the voice of Hind Rajab, I think is her name, Rajab,
Oh, I thought you.
which is a story about a girl who allegedly was killed by the IDF. This is the story that they're telling. I don't trust anything or ever anything that anyone tells me from that region. So I don't know what the story is. I don't even care to read or look. If it's a kid that was murdered in any capacity during war, it's tragic, it's awful. But this is such a politically charged
Yeah.
movie that is clearly that is
I love the background commentary.
so cute, but I
I
don't know what she's that is clearly reading like into people's political hearts right now. It's not really telling the story of a sad story about because then where's the story about the kids of the kibbutz that were brutally taken and shot at? And honestly, I saw a story, and I don't even want to. This is like such a sidestep, but I saw a post last week. You know, they finally released some footage last week. Is the Israeli government finally released a little bit of footage from October 7th,
Right.
which I'm shocked that we haven't released more earlier. But
It's too
I
brutal.
saw what's her name, Erin Milan, who is an amazing advocate and ally from Australia. She posted this 2-3 minute video,
Mhm.
and I'm sure if you've been following any of these people, you've seen this footage. It is. It sounds like I have Chewbacca or whatever behind me. It is a like ring camera basically from inside and outside this family's home in the kibbutz on
Right.
October 7th. I don't want to even go into detail,
Yeah, you
but
don't.
when
You
I
don't
tell
have to.
you, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. But because it's two boys, and this is where your own like relatability comes in, because it's two boys that felt like my own boy's age, it stuck in my soul. It is the most tragic video you can ever imagine of a father trying to protect his kids and going his own life. You know, he loses his own life to protect his kids. But seeing the aftermath and hearing the sounds and hearing the voices, and I'm telling you, I think I was forever changed from that video. I was like struck, like I was frozen in time. I was crying. I was sick to my stomach. Like I couldn't function for a solid hour after. And I said to Lance, I was like, you have to see this. And he's like, do I want to? I said, no, but you have to really understand. Anyway, that was aired finally. But I'm like, where are those stories? They would never be, Joaquin Phoenix would never dare to make a movie about that because it's not the political message that he wants to share. Anyway, right at the end of the 23-minute clapping, free, free Palestine, everyone's yelling.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
And I see these people clapping and smiling and hooting and hollering, and I'm like, there's like so much energy being put into this kind of shit. And it just looked like a bunch of brainwashed human beings standing there,
Mm-hmm.
clapping and cheering. It was horrendous. And I can't, I've seen it, obviously not as much as you because of, I guess, algorithm and whatnot, but it's, it's horrible because you're right. There's nothing, we have this documentary that came out called October 8th that you and I both saw together. Um, but that didn't get any type of like love or anything from either critics or from the media or any of
No,
this.
they think it's fake and lies.
And it's like it's something that's so powerful that um and it doesn't even need to show all of the stuff that happened on October 7th. It just shows what happened, everything after October 7th. And yet no fanfare for that, nothing, because it's not the correct message. It's not the narrative that all of these Hollywood people want to associate with. So it's sad that we're in this predicament, but we continue just kind of dealing with it.
I think a lot of people are really, of course, there's always going to be the people that are going to stick with these feelings and thoughts forever and ever and ever. But I think most people, it's like, I do think it's like a fringe group of people out there that are like hardcore, like obsessed with the free Palestine, free Palestine. And then there's going to be a lot of people that are slowly just getting, I think, maybe tired of it. Like,
Yeah, but
much longer.
but like if you're seeing these articles just feed into your algorithm and this continues to happen, it's like it's still a big story in entertainment. And now not only is it a story, now it gets amplified so much with social media, with all of these things. So you're
Yeah.
continuing hearing about them and it keeps the story alive is what's happening. Like this kind of stuff, we talk about this. I kind of just wish this would go away. And I know the war's not over. I don't know when the war is going to end. But the fact that this kind of stuff continues to make headlines and
It's not.
continues to get fed into algorithms, we want people to stop thinking about it. But it's just not going to happen when we continuously get these types of stories, or documentaries that people are making.
And
Documentaries.
And there's absolutely no reason that it should get as many headlines as it does. I mean, other than the fact that our hostages are still there dying under
Yeah.
tunnels, it should not get nearly as much mentions in the media as it does because the the actual devastation that it's causing to Gaza is nothing compared to the real devastation that's happening in so many other places. But the media is so hardcore focused there, and it's really just because of Israel and its involvement with the US.
Yeah.
And it comes down to, I mean, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, but it really comes down to the fact that the media hates Trump. Trump likes Israel. Israel and Trump are working, well, not even Trump. Israel and the US government are working in alignment, and the US people that can't stand Trump or can't stand the government are like, what is this? This feels wrong. Why
Yeah.
are we supporting a foreign country? Let's take them down. And that's really what it comes down to, in my opinion. So, I saw a post. There's this one guy that I follow on X who I really like his posts because he's a little bit like me, where he was a super, super liberal and he lives in, where were the really bad hurricanes? Like Virginia, West,
I
like
mean,
West.
they're always somewhere over there. I mean, there was
No,
New
but like
Orleans.
a year ago, a year and a half ago, or something, where it was like during Biden's presidency, before
Maybe
Trump.
Virginia. I don't
I
remember.
want to say something like that, where it
Okay.
was the worst. Remember, it was horrendous, horrendous, horrendous. And that experience made him open his eyes to like what is happening in the government and how they're not helping, right? And it's not that he became a Trumper. He's definitely not MAGA. He just started to open his eyes to our why is our government not helping us, and like, you start to open. So he became
Right.
more of like open, and he started to realize like how the media plays a part in a lot of lies to the Americans. That's why I like him. And he's coming from a place of like just a dad, just a
Yeah.
normal dad that's like, wait, the media lies to the Americans. And they say, I watch things on my TV of what people say, and then I read the headlines, and it's totally different. I like stuff like that because that's what I think is the biggest issue, is what the media portrays versus what's real. And it's what we talk about with Israel all the time, right? So he was saying the other day, and he said, why is it, I've always wondered, why is it that the woke left is the biggest supporter of Islam? It's like Islam, like Hamas, terrorist
Right.
society. You couldn't see two more opposite in
Yeah.
values.
Yeah.
And it's because, what do you think it is? What do you think is the biggest answer?
I mean, my guess would be, I mean, there could be tons of answers. Could be because Israel is white and that's what people think, and we're the Israelers, the oppressors. So because Gaza, it doesn't have the amount of military capabilities, that they're the ones being oppressed.
The reason he says is because he said is because they are, this is his question. He says, I've been struggling to comprehend why leftists are defending radical Muslims. They are essentially antithetical to everything the woke stand for, and it makes no sense at all. And then it dawned on me. And he goes on through a huge thread. This is a massive, massive successful tweet. It has 76,000 likes, 8 million views. And he says, sorry, I don't know. My mom is calling me and it's coming.
Oh,
Sorry. And
Ima.
he says, it's because they're both against the Western civilization as
Yeah.
it is. Isn't that interesting?
It's yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think well, for me, here's my take on it. I don't think there's just one reason. I think that's definitely part of it. I think there are so many different reasons where people latch onto to become part of this anti-Israel movement. And I think what you said, what this guy said, is part of it. I think what I just said in terms of the oppressor is part of it. I think because people just don't like Trump, they're going to not like this. They're not going to like Israel. I think there are a lot of different reasons why people tag on to this, and it's like the perfect storm. It's nothing. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, maybe I'm just saying that because it is interesting, like what you said about this guy. I wish. What's his name? I just say this guy.
His name is Matt, and he's actually from North Carolina. I'm just remembering. He's from Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay. So what he's talking about with, and I think this is for this would go for you too, Donna, is that when the hurricanes happened, that's when he really focused in on what was going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, and possibly you, is that throughout my entire life, I would watch the news or listen to the news, and then as I got older, social media, and you just kind of believe everything that was told to you because of all this. Now, when something finally happens that affects you specifically, a big enough story that says, hey, what is going on, what like affects you in a very deep, deep way, that's when you start kind of looking into things more than you would have before. October 7th happened, and it feels like every single day since has been something that's been a big enough story that's related to Israel or Jews that it's very interesting to me, and I have to keep on looking into these things. So if I
Yeah.
see a ridiculous article or something that's written by any, or like even a news broadcast, any of these things, I now will second guess everything. And this is not just when it comes to CNN. This will go Fox News. This will go everything. And it's not just Israel and Judaism. I think now it's everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of look at everything with a different lens. and kind of understand that these news organizations, these media organizations are for-profit companies, or they're part of a bigger for-profit companies. So because of that, they will always do what's going to make them more and more money. And if they have to get more clicks, if they're going to get more clicks talking about, in this case, Israel being the bad guy, then yes, that's what they're going to do. And
Yeah.
it's very unfortunate, because what happens is those stories get picked up and picked up and picked up, and then they get shared throughout social media, and then big creators start reading them, and then eventually it becomes fact, and it becomes fact on TikTok, and all these creators are starting to talk about it, where it is just, you can't argue with it. It's just completely fact.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it reminds me of like what the one thing for everyone that makes them kind of open their eyes to this, to this kind of reality that not everything you see is what to believe, or like not everything you read is what the truth is.
right.
And everyone will have, I think everyone in this world hopefully will have that moment where they wake up to it. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people go their entire life in a naive bubble of just thinking like whatever the news tells you is true. And whatever, and this is I would say this is kind of new. So, I think that maybe a lot of older people will always believe that the news will be true until the day they die. But the younger generation is waking up maybe to it, of seeing like, questioning things. The problem with it is, who is your narrator and who are you believing? Because we can't believe what we hear on TikTok. We can't believe, the random citizen journalist always either.
Yep.
So it's kind of scary actually, because everyone has a voice, which is good and bad. And but I think it has to happen to you personally. Something has to happen to you personally to make you wake up. So this guy, it was the floods.
Yep.
And for someone else, it's going to be the fires in I was going to say Palestine, the fires in Palisades, right?
Yep.
So look at Spencer Pratt
Oh,
waking up to it and taking down Gavin Newsom big time on his platform, and taking down a lot of those local officials. And that for him is his wake up call. And he would have never, ever probably taken this on ever had that not happened.
right.
Would he ever consider going political?
Right.
And he was talking about bullshit and crystals and his wife's music, and then this happened. And then I never in a million years would have ever thought that I was going to talk about being Jewish and Israel ever, until this happened. I mean, I thought it would be like, that would just be a fun little like part of my life, like just being
Right.
Jewish. Ah.
But there's a reason we started this podcast. I mean, this comes in the wake of everything that's happened, right? This
Yeah.
comes in, like, we started this podcast at the beginning of 2025. And even though it's, a year and a half removed, or year and like whatever removed from October 7th, there was still, again, enough things for us to think about how important all of this is, and how it kind of hits us on a daily basis. And it's why we started this, to talk about everything.
But I think what's really interesting is, I'm part of a WhatsApp group in my neighborhood of just, I don't even know how far of the circumference of the neighborhood that's part of it. People just invite their neighbors. So it could be 3 blocks, it could be 7 blocks. I don't know.
Right.
But if there's any sort of weird activity or an event or whatever, people throw it out there. Maybe if someone's daughter is available to babysit or something, people put it on there. But anytime there's some weird activity, like there's someone shady walking down the street, everyone just keep posted, keep your eyes out, or there's a coyote, whatever. So we have one person on this group who is, I would consider her a Karen, in your typical sense of what a Karen was, because she was the girl that yelled at my kid during COVID months for scootering outside without a mask. And he was 5. Okay. So, and this was like 5 months after COVID.
Right. Oh.
So it was one of those. She is like that person. She's that like nosy neighbor that would, tattletale and tell on you. And she's like in all respects. But for whatever reason, crime is going up in Los Angeles. We all see it. We all know it. There's robberies left and right. People are literally getting robbed, and in some cases, in really beautiful homes and neighborhoods in Encino
Mm-hmm.
here, getting shot and killed,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we should all be very aware and very like on edge about security in Los Angeles in our own
Right.
homes because unfortunately, like this is the reality. This is where we are, right? And you know this because you and I talk about this. You and I know, and especially just hello, we have mezuzahs on our doors. Like, come
Yeah.
on. Okay, so we've had some shady activity in the last few months. Random shit. Homeless people walking up and down the streets that are acting wildly weird and on drugs and whatnot. And strange men walking out at night in dark hoods. And, maybe some people that don't really look like solicitors, but say that they are. And they come up to your door and they stare in your window for an ungodly amount of time. That's weird.
Yes.
And these are things that people are posting and talking about on the WhatsApp. And it's not like annoying. It's just, hey, FYI.
Yes.
And she, the Karen of the Karens that would tell on everyone, now has decided, and by the way, I just want to point out, she is the biggest liberal you've ever met in your entire life.
Okay.
And now, because of the whole world being like Donald Trump says that Los Angeles is unsafe, she has decided that Los Angeles is unicorns and rainbows and not dangerous. So she fights us if we say that there's danger, right? Anytime we say that it's dangerous, she goes, oh, no, no, no. I wouldn't consider that dangerous. My kids like to look into people's windows. It's fine.
My kids like to look into people's windows. What a weird flex.
And that's weird. I'm sorry. Your kids shouldn't look in other people's windows. Like, I don't think I think that's weird. Then the other day we said like some guy was outside with a hood. She goes, I wouldn't call the cops. My other daughter, who's 17, she goes, my daughter's boyfriend sometimes sits in his car in a hood. I really don't think you should call the cops on people like that. Well, maybe your daughter's boyfriend shouldn't sit in his car in front of another person's house in a hood for hours. That's weird.
That's also weird. Yes. Why would anybody do that in the first place?
Right. And then the homeless man who pulled down his pants. And mind you, we live in a nice neighborhood, Adam.
I know. I've been to your neighborhood.
The homeless man that pulled down his pants and let my 12-year-old see his penis, and he was running around yelling about Al Qaeda because he was clearly on meth or something. She says, don't call the cops. There's nothing that they can do about this poor man. Okay? So finally, I said to her, you can't shame people for being nervous. Please don't shame people for wanting to call the cops. And I think there is truth in numbers. Like the more people that call the cops, it's going to send more eyes into our neighborhood. We should call the cops. We should be vigilant. We should continue to like be loud about this. And it's interesting to me that politics, and this is where politics get upsetting to me, is because the person that she doesn't like in politics tells her that LA is unsafe, she will move mountains.
Right.
To make sure that LA is safe. Like, and then Lance said on the text, and fuck, he got so many likes on this text. And that's a good mark of a text when you get so many.
You get all the heart, whatever it is. Yes.
He said, you're only safe until it happens to you. Because she said, I sleep with my door unlocked. She's 2 houses from Ventura, Adam.
Why would she do? First of all, she doesn't. That's bullshit. I guarantee that's bullshit. She locks that fucking door and then she turns on an alarm and then she has her gun right next to her and all of these things, but she is not going to ever admit that to you.
She says that she sleeps with her door unlocked. She has young daughters in her house. But by the way, why would you ever say that out loud on a text?
Yeah, that's another thing. Why are you advertising? Like, does she know every single person on that text chain?
No, I don't even know everyone.
So why would you be advertising?
Because LA is so safe.
Yeah, but I'm not going to use the F word. The mental gymnastics, that's my favorite term. The mental gymnastics people have to do to make themselves believe certain things or to try to prove something that is obscenely false.
But it's just to prove her point that LA is safe. There's no reason for extra police activity in this city. And she's also the person that told me that she is married to a Jew and she struggles because she believes in free Palestine.
Oh, yes. I mean, struggle. Jeez.
But anyway, the point is, you're only feeling safe in life until it happens to you. October 7th was that for me.
So let me shift to another news story that's been
Okay.
bugging the crap out of me. So over the last couple of days, this is my feed, has been, and it's been every news outlet, at least on the internet, right, has said the, I guess, the highest authority in genocide has taken a poll, and it's officially uh, Israel is officially committing a genocide. Okay, so you see
Wait,
that.
there's some the organization is like the Genocide Authority of America or whatever.
Yeah, I'll get into that. It is. It actually not of America. It's called IAGS, and it stands for
Yes.
The International Association of Genocide Scholars. Okay, so they had a poll or a vote or something and it came back saying yes, Israel is performing a genocide. So
Okay. IAGS.
you see something like this, and you're like, holy shit, these are experts in genocide. Oh my God, I can't believe, what could be possibly going on. And especially if you're Jewish, like this sucks. It's another thing against you. And then what you start realizing is, okay, let's look a little further into this. So this is called the International Association of Genocide Scholars. Now, if you really look into this, the word scholars is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Are we scholars?
No, we're not, and I'll tell you why we're not. To become a scholar on here, you pay as little as $35, okay? To become a member of this, okay? It gets better. So not only is it not a scholar, it's just anybody who's willing to pay as low as $35 to become a
That's less
member.
than a gym membership.
Right. I mean, there are different tiers, and I don't know what the different tiers mean, but there are different tiers. But you can pay as low as $35. And then you start going in to see, which, by the way, they took this off the website after this got out, was that people put up profiles of who they are so you can check out who these scholars are.
Okay.
And you can only imagine the type of bullshit that people are putting in their profiles. So I'll give you one instance, and I'll find the screenshot of it, but I can't right now. But I'll find it and send it to you. Adolf Hitler is one of the genocide scholars. So he came back to life just for this. He paid his $35 and he voted.
You've got to be joking. No, you're serious?
I'm dead serious. Well, not that
Like, did they pretend that he was real?
They just took any person could pay this, and then a membership up there. You put your profile. It's a picture of Hitler, and it says Adolf Hitler, and he voted for this. Then there's all these other ones. You could be whatever the hell you want. Put your name up there, and pay it. So what I'm trying to say is that none of these people are scholars. Or maybe a couple of them are scholars. Fine. But anybody could sign up for this. So what happened was this organization said, yes, we polled everybody who's a member, and now we decided that Israel's performing a genocide. So what happens after that? Every single news organization takes that and runs with it.
Yeah. Well, because it's confirmation bias.
Correct. Now, what I haven't seen yet is now there's all these leaks of what I told you, where all these people are just signing up and voting for it because they hate Israel. And they're doing it without any type of genocide scholarly knowledge. And they're putting up all of these different things. And again, these profiles, which there was an Adolf Hitler on there. I don't know if he still exists on there, but and now again, everybody's running with it. Now, I haven't seen any type of retraction, any type of thing saying, oh, this is not actually correct because these aren't real scholars. But this is what happens. Again, they take what they see immediately, and instead of journalistic integrity, instead of going in and saying, okay, let's look at this organization. Let's actually see who are these scholars. They just decide, okay, this is obviously, it's called the International Association of Genocide Scholars. They must have some kind of, heat with them, and they must be smart because they're scholars. And these have been the news articles in the last couple days.
So stupid.
Yeah. And it's again, it's so annoying to see how media organizations have just been taking this and running with it.
I will tell you, I don't even pay attention to the news about this anymore. Like, this wasn't even shocking to me.
I
This
know.
news. Like, it didn't even shock me. I was like, okay, then more people are calling it a genocide. Great, awesome. It doesn't shock me by any means because it doesn't change anyone's mind.
No, at this point, it
People
doesn't.
that thought it was a genocide are just going to be like, see, told you so. And the people that didn't think it was a genocide are going to be like, okay, I still don't think it's a genocide.
But again, I guess there still is a problem to me because there's more than those two sides. There's a side of undecided. We talk about all the time where there's undecided voters. People don't know they're voting for whatever reason. They don't know who they're going to vote for.
Yeah.
This is the same thing because there are tons of people out there that don't have as much invested in this than we do or somebody on the other side does. So when you have an article that's written like that, someone may see it who has not made up their mind on how they feel about this topic, see it and say, you know what? It's right. They're scholars. Maybe they are committing a genocide. And maybe they're not necessarily going to be, free Palestine people, but they're still the people that are going to sit there and saying, yeah, Israel's performing genocide. It's pretty messed up what they're doing. So I hear what you're saying, and I know we have our opinions, but there's still the undecided that still may be affected in a negative way when you come out with this.
There's nothing really we can do, unfortunately, about it when there's such a tidal wave of misinformation against us. There's really nothing you can do. Like, it's so sad, but the misinformation and the press against Israel and Jews is so huge. It's as if like they're just dying to wipe us off the planet, and they won't stop until they can. It's as if they're getting literally rewarded for every takedown they can get for us. I don't know what the final mission is. I don't know what the final end goal is for all these press pieces, what they want to get out of it. I don't get it. Not really sure what the final solution is for them.
Don't use the word final solution.
Well, I don't know. What is the final solution for them?
I know. Just the term final solution with Hitler. Anyway, continue.
But what is it? What do they want? Does the New York Times want all Jews, killed?
No, I think the New York Times, again, it's two things. They're liberals and they're very much going to.
So what do they want?
Well, right now they want money.
But what do they want when it comes to Israel?
I don't know if they care, to be completely honest with you. I'm sure there are some people that do care in there, but I think a lot from a news organization that is always like all these publications are owned by bigger entities. They want money. They want as many people to get on their articles. I don't know if they actually care, to be 100% honest with you. I don't think they give a shit. I think you have the people who do care, and I'm sure some of the journalists care both ways. And then you have the creators that are not news associated that care either way. But I think when it comes to these news organizations, a lot of it has to do with money. And it makes them more money to go this direction.
Yeah. So then there's nothing we can do.
Well,
but Israel won't go away, and it's not going away, and we're not going away.
Well, we started this conversation about how much I complain. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just continue complaining.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, and every week it kind of ebbs and flows, with how sensitive I am to it. Right now, I am in a place where I'm like, c'est la vie. Like, Bring it on. Keep talking about us. Why are you so obsessed with us? You know, why? Why are you so obsessed with us? We're standing strong. We're still fighting. That's all I can say. I've never felt more proud to be a Jewish Zionist.
Yeah.
I
I
have never felt more proud to be a Jewish woman who wants the state of Israel to exist. And that doesn't mean that I agree with everything Israel does. It doesn't mean that I like everything Israel does. It doesn't mean that I support war. It doesn't mean that I support death. It doesn't mean that I support suffering. It doesn't mean that but I support Israel as a state. I support Israel as a country, and I support Israel's existence. And none of this bullshit is going to make me question that. And it has made me question things in the past because I get fucked up by the propaganda too sometimes.
yeah.
And if I do, and you do, think about the people that don't know anything. So let them not know anything. It's like, what am I going to do? I can't sit here and change people's minds. We can't. We can only continue to stay strong. We have to remind ourselves that when I walk down the street and I see, only because I saw this on Instagram, not because I saw it in real life, but on Sunday morning at a coffee shop here in Studio City, which I've never actually been to, but I've heard of it, called Yalla Coffee Shop, which I thought, oh, that's so funny, Yalla, because I say Yalla all the time to my kids,
Right.
which is an Arabic word, but it's, something that we say, a lot of Jews say all the time. I grew up saying it. My mom said it to me, Yalla, let's go, let's go. I say it every day of my life to my kids. Is an Arabic coffee shop, very crowded all the time here in Studio City, which is a very, very high Jewish population
Yes,
city.
very much so.
And there's a woman in the shop, which is right outside of the Studio City Farmers Market, which is something that we would all be at, no problem. And she's wearing a tank top that says, Israel kills children, funded by the USA. And this is just a woman. You see the back of her shirt, and she looks just like you and I, not you, because you're not a woman, but just like me. You know what I mean? And she's talking to an employee there, and everyone's smiling and laughing in the picture, and it's not a problem. It's just normal. And that's where it's like, fuck, like it's in your face. And if I'm with my kids there and you see that, and it's like, ugh. And what do? Do we have the right to say to a woman, you can't wear that? I don't know.
No, you can't. I mean, you can try. You can try to be vocal towards her.
No, but what does that help?
I'm just saying, like, you can, but what is that going to do? I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know. It's tough because I don't want, like you said, when you're with your kids, you don't want your kids to see that. You don't, because, we have our kids. You have a child that is prepping for his bar mitzvah. I have a kid that just started prepping for her bat mitzvah. And the amount of Israel that we talk about in, Jewish religious school, when we talk about prepping for our bar and bat mitzvahs, it's a lot. So when you see the words Israel kills, or whatever it said, it kind of it adds so much negativity to what we believe in and what we're trying to teach our children, and it makes it very difficult for us. But I guess you can't do anything. If you want, you could scream at that person, say something, but I don't know if that's going to make it worse, which it probably would.
Yeah, it's horrible. Anyway.
Before we sign off, can you
Yes.
just tell that Dylan story that you were going to tell?
Oh, Oliver story?
Oh, Oliver. Yes. Tell the Oliver
Yeah,
story.
but you got pissed.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Go for it.
So speaking of you being a complainer, the other day in the car, we were sitting in the car driving to school, and my older son Dylan was complaining about something or being negative, and I said, negative Nancy. And he goes, why are all the negative words always girls' names? Like negative Nancy, Debbie Downer. And I said, I don't know. You're right. That's so annoying, right? And Oliver was quiet, my 10-year-old. And then all of a sudden he goes, well, there's always negative Newman. And I said, and it works. It tracks. Negative Newman.
And you know what, Donna? As much as I don't want to take that name on. It is not the first time in my life, in my long, long life, that I've heard that, because Negative Newman has followed me throughout. You think this has just came in the last 2 years? This has always been Negative Newman.
I'm really
So
glad that you admit that you are a negative person, and maybe you should try to change that.
I do. I try every day, and then I take a nap and I forget about it.
That's the problem. Thanks, guys, so much for being here for another week. Make sure to subscribe, like, hit the review, 5 stars, all the things. Tell your friends, tell your Jewish friends, tell your non-Jewish friends, tell your negative friends.
Yes. Do it all.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.